Since Nintendo started developing video games with Donkey Kong, there has always been a clear-cut rule. You are the hero, and you must save the princess. Mario has mostly stayed true to this rule, with the possible exception of Super Mario 3D World, where Peach is one of the playable characters, but she's still replaced with another princess, or princesses. Nintendo's other franchise about rescuing royalty strayed from this rule, or at least tried to, in just the 5th mainline entry. I am, of course, referring to the immaculate Nintendo 64 title, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The character in question for this Trinity is the Secret of Sheik, or as she's better known, Princess Zelda. Before we talk about this version of Zelda, let's reflect on her NES counterpart. While capable in her own right, this version of Zelda is still the damsel in distress we must save as the game's driving force. She does preemptively split apart the Triforce of Wisdom so Ganon can't obtain it, which is more than Peach has ever done in the way of progressing the plot forward. Still, she remains just like a story, or more fittingly, a legend, that Link must rescue and receive nothing in the way of gratitude except a thank you. Now let's jump forward to 1998, with the release of The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time. At the battle-ready age of 9, Zelda is already planning how to protect her kingdom from threats outside and within. Immediately following Ganondorf's attack, Zelda and Impa escape town, leading into the most iconic opening scene in any video game. It's the petrified princess's actions in this scene that end up saving the kingdom. This little girl's quick-thinking reaction to seeing this boy, who she can only trust because of a dream she had, is the reason that there is a happy ending and 6 more dungeons to explore. When Link pulls the Master Sword from its pedestal 7 years later and receives the Medallion of Light, he is greeted by a mystifying figure, shrouded in a Sheikah stealth suit. She speaks of a hero of time and 5 sages. As she talks, an enchanting melody descends from a heavenly harp, adding an even more incredible repertoire to this game's already spectacular soundtrack. From then on, Sheik will appear at the start of each temple to teach us a new song, with my highlights being the Minute of Forest and the Bolero of Fire. There are 2 exceptions to this formula. In the ice cabin, Ruto reveals to Link that Sheik freed her from a glacial jail. This story is an example of the game telling us that Sheik can do awesome things, but not showing us anything she can do. The second example is in Kakariko Village. After completing the first 3 temples, an illusory nightmare strikes from inside the well. Sheik is already there, glaring down at the menacing mine. As the wooden frame soars into the sky, her composure remains still. The camera switches to a point of view shot, typically to indicate a boss fight is about to begin. Sheik readies to strike. Is she going to blind it with smoke grenades, or unsheath a katana that can slice through specters? Nope! Just a hilariously bad animation of her getting tossed around and thrown down some stairs, and just like that, she's defeated. To be fair, Link doesn't do any better against the recently released Bongo Bongo, whose boss fight is by far the most annoying and difficult fight in the game. I just don't know why they made her go down so pathetically. We know Sheik is a capable fighter from Ruto's story, so why doesn't she get to do anything awesome? I think the reason for this might be because, at least to the writers, this was Link's story, from a Kokiri child to the hero of time, and for some reason, he wasn't allowed to be outshone by the supporting cast, until after the fight with Ganondorf. After defeating Ganondorf, Zelda is the one who rescues us, by guiding us out of the castle. Even during this sequence, Zelda is briefly captured again by Stalfos. During the final boss battle, however, Zelda gets the final rescue of the game by stunning Ganon with her powers, letting us get one of the most astounding kills in video game history. In an age of Tomb Raider 2, it was shockingly progressive to have the princess be her own defender while still acting kid-friendly. Even in 2021, it's still reasonably uncommon for Japanese media to let female characters rely solely on their personalities to become popular. It shows how even a company such as Nintendo, still very much stuck in the past with things like lack of achievements or the invite system, can look far ahead into the future to see not only how games will be designed, but how stories will be told. While Ocarina of Time is considered revolutionary for its advancements in graphics and gameplay, we shouldn't forget that Nintendo also revolutionized just how impactful to the story the damsel in distress can be in the narrative of a game.